Hello, everybody, and welcome to podcast number 47 of The Real Estate Show. I'm Cherise Selley, and with me is Shawna Uehling. We are part of Selley Group Real Estate, a boutique brokerage here in Colorado Springs. Shawna has been a dear friend of mine since 2006 or even before that.
I think a little before.
But
we solidified in 06.
Oh, man. And it was a good solidification.
Still going strong.
It's very good. But together, we're part of working through real estate. We've been working together for years. We've been doing life together. We are in the middle of seeing the market change here in Colorado Springs together. We're experiencing that with our sellers, with our buyers. And, we don't have May stats in because right now we're shooting on May 12th. So we have April stats. So I'll just quickly highlight and not go over. If you want the long version, listen to last week's podcast because it really goes into stats. But the average home sales price for April had gone up from March 4.1% to $561,907. And we began this year in El Paso County with the average price of a home at $494,954. So $66,900 and $53,000 difference in home pricing since the beginning of the year. And that number is still ticking as we are shooting this podcast. It'll be interesting to see how the rise of interest rates, how the increase of inventory will affect some of the pricing. We don't predict that the sky is completely falling apart, even though the wind is blowing us to smithereens right now.
Yeah.
But we do say that it's maybe going to create a slight opportunity for buyers that they didn't feel at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Don't you think that's true?
I think so too.
And speaking of being a buyer, and there's interesting things that Shawna, I mean, you yourself have just gone through a building process. You're so creative and so amazing at design and landscape.
So what we're doing right now is drawing out plans.
So explain
My
that.
plans are drawn. I've drawn them. They look really good.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to look awesome. Except for, with designing a whole landscape and we're on about 6.0 of an acre, so a little over a half. There's a lot of space to do something with. And, the winds have been so crazy over the last month that I really feel like, I don't know. I just am thinking of fires and drought tolerant.
Your landscaping plans when you see these winds?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to do a lot of drought tolerant planting, not a lot of grass. Because we're in Denala's water district, and they typically are higher than Colorado Springs utilities.
So where is that water district for people that don't know?
Glen Eagle is mainly Glen Eagle, I think, because we're in the unincorporated part we're right in between Monument and Colorado Springs.
Right.
So we have our little water district there, and it is, pretty high.
It's pricey.
Yeah. And so we just want to do minimal sod with that. But just with the winds and everything, I was thinking, man, our fire danger might be pretty high. I mean, we had smoke in the air 2 days ago in April. That's like crazy. We should be, actually we're in May.
We should have green everywhere.
We don't have a lot of green yet. We haven't had a lot of rain, and it just makes me think, mitigate your yards if you have a lot of, dead trees around or shrubs. Just minimize that maybe this spring and, just really look around at the perimeter of your house and, just clear the dead stuff out of there and maybe plant some drought tolerant stuff and put rocks around the perimeter, mulch. I don't know.
I remember when we had the Black Forest fire and we live in Mountain Shadows where we lost over 300 homes.
Yeah.
And a big reason that the fire spread was because of dead trees or the brush or anything that's just sparks that fire to get closer to the home. And I think that's really a great tip for people, especially if they're coming in from an unfamiliar area.
Yeah.
They don't realize that first of all, Colorado is a dry, arid climate. We're high desert. We're called Alpine desert.
Right.
And this year in particular, we've had more of a drought so far than we've had in years and years, maybe historical.
You know, another thing I've noticed in people's houses lately?
What?
Those, I think they're like 50-gallon drums. I don't know if they're 50-gallon, but the big ones. And they're putting them at the end of their downspouts to collect the rainwater as it comes off the roof, and then you can plug a hose into it. I've seen more and more of those lately, and I'm like, that's actually not a bad idea.
But it is a great idea if the covenants and HOA will allow that.
Yeah.
Because that's called Graywater Storage. And it's one of those things that may or may not be something a neighborhood will allow for. But if it does, wow, that's a great way to conserve.
Yeah,
Definitely. So you're saying fire protection. Look at your yard differently than how you did when we were in a high season of rain before.
Yeah, and figure out ways to conserve water and just use it wisely, because I think you're going to be paying for it.
You kind of went through that in California where you used to live, didn't you?
Yeah, we had fires. I thought moving here we'd get rid of the fires, but...
Are you saying you brought them with you?
No.
Oh, come on.
I will remain silent.
Well, I would say, though, it is definitely something to be prepared for.
Yeah, and I think Colorado Springs Utilities is already saying they might be restricting water, this year. If you go on their website, csu.org, I'm sure they have tips and different ways for consumers to save water and be smart this year. So.
Absolutely. So, Shawna, let's transition more, a deeper level now, or I would say as deep, about buyers moving into a new area. What are some tips for them that they can expect or that they may not know to do that can kind of quicken their just getting stabilized in a community?
Yeah, I think finding out where you have to find out where everything is. Like when we moved, I'm like, where's the post office up here? I don't even know where to mail things. I didn't even know they had a post office.
And do you know what's funny? You were only a 20-minute drive from where you used to live.
Yeah, I just never went up there for shopping or anything. But now I'm more in Monument, really, and I do a lot of stuff in Monument now. So just like finding a new vet and where the post office is, and I knew where the store was, but where's the cheapest gas? Because now I might not be able to go to Costco all the time like I used to.
Wow.
So I need to find the best one up there, which, spoiler alert, so far, the Murphy's station, Jackson Creek has pretty good prices.
There you go.
I found out.
Well, that keeps you being able to commute to Trader Joe's.
Yeah,
because you will not give that up.
I still go there.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I have to go to Trader Joe's. But yeah, just like finding out, the quickest place you just have to find your new places. Restaurants, huge.
So we're all hungry that at this time of airing, everybody in this room is starving.
Yeah, we are.
And we're thinking about food incessantly.
Yeah.
So I would say there's just some really cool places to explore in there's little pocket restaurants that come to mind that a lot of locals don't even know about unless they live close to these places.
Yeah.
So like, where are we going to go after this podcast shoot?
We're going to Naray.
I love how you pronounce it because I say Nairai. It's probably completely wrong.
I'm sure I'm saying it right. That's how I say it.
But it's Thai food.
It's so good.
It's Thai food at its most optimal tasting level.
Yes, and it's a little hole in the wall, and it's so good, and I love it.
So where else? What are some of your other favorites lately? And I know you're not a breakfast girl. I'm not going to hold breakfast to you.
Yeah, I'm not a huge breakfast girl, but I will do a shout out to Loyal Coffee with their coffee and their good avocado toast.
Loyal Coffee is just a favorite of ours.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I'm still trying to find little small places up there to eat. I'm kind of in a rut. I don't know.
Well, I can tell you a few that we've enjoyed.
Place?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think one of my all-time favorite places to eat here is Ombly.
Never been.
And it's right there by Costco. But it takes you, literally, it's international cuisine, and it takes you a world away from here. You're experiencing literally a food experience from different countries. And they'll bring you out like the most incredible tasting dishes.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
Different countries. And it is a flavorful explosion. And because I'm a glutard, I'm gluten-free, I cannot, eat normal food. They accommodate everything for me so that with my food allergies will not hinder the enjoyment.
And that's important to find, because a lot of restaurants do that, but you have to know which ones they are.
Yes. A few other favorites right now. I love Till South. I don't know if you've been there yet.
Oh, I haven't been there.
Totally new experience. It's amazing. Their menu is incredible. It's incredible. I love that place.
Have you been to Red Gravy?
Gravy and gluten-free.
It's Italian. Get it? Red Gravy.
Oh.
I've actually haven't been, but I've heard from multiple people it's very good. So I'm going to be going there in the next month.
Okay. Well, you'll have to give us a shout out if it's worth shouting out.
I think it is, from the foodies that have told me about it.
Okay.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Shawna. Well, this has been fun. We've gone from drought-resistant plants to our real
when
fun
you
topic.
Evacuate, you need to know what restaurant to go to.
Literally. You should evacuate next to your favorite restaurant.
I think that's wise.
Thank you so much, and we will catch you next time.
Sounds good.
All right.